Hi, I'm Ruth. I'm the Communications Officer with BodyWhys. So BodyWhys is the Eating Disorders Association of Ireland. So we're the national charity supporting people affected by eating disorders and also friends and family members and things like that. The organisation is 15 this year, so it was set up in 1995. And the way it came together was basically that a group of parents whose children were having issues with eating disorders realised that there wasn't a support group, that there weren't support services. And I suppose it's the same way a lot of these kind of organisations come together, is people see a need and fill it themselves. So it started off with a helpline and support group in Dublin, and that kind of grew so that now we have a local helpline number which operates 2 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have support groups in Dublin, Carlow and Galway, and we're currently looking at expanding that. We're always looking at expanding to other areas. We also have an online support group and an email support service. So a lot of what we do is I suppose try to find new ways and new technologies and new avenues that people can reach us and find the support that they might need. The support groups as well, should be said that they're for family and friends as well as for people who are themselves affected. I think it's really important to understand that with eating disorders, I suppose no more than any other mental health issue, but eating disorders can have a real impact on the relationships you have with your family and your friends and things like that. The biggest thing with eating disorders at the moment in terms of changes, I suppose, is that you're seeing a lot more young men developing an eating disorder. You're seeing a lot more of a focus on things like not just, say, restricting your diet. Anorexia is probably the thing that people assume is the most common eating disorder because that's what you see in magazines and that's what you see being talked about a lot, and that's that shocking image of someone that's lost a lot of weight that I suppose is easier to identify if you look at it and things like that. But something like bulimia is twice as common, but people don't realise that because bulimia can be much easier hidden. So if a person has bulimia, they may stay around their normal body weight, they may put on a bit of weight or they may lose a bit of weight, but it'll fluctuate. So there isn't that extreme weight loss. So what we are seeing now is that a lot of young people are developing bulimia, but it's taking a number of years for anything to be done about it because it's so much easier to hide that from the people around you, which is a real issue. It's important to understand that for each individual who develops an eating disorder, it happens for different reasons. So there's no one thing that you can blame for the development of an eating disorder. It's usually, we would see an eating disorder as being a coping mechanism. So a way that a person finds to I suppose express or deal with something else that's going on in their life that they can't handle, that they can't get a handle on themselves. So for most people, there will have been some sort of emotional issue. It may be, say, the loss of a loved one, the breakup of a relationship. It might be something like bullying in school. That's a really common thing that can lead down the road of I suppose low self-esteem and body image issues, and when they come together they can often develop into something like an eating disorder. I think it is important to say that we do live in a society where we're encouraged on a daily basis to feel bad about how we look, and you can't pretend that doesn't have an impact. Now, the media doesn't have a direct influence on someone developing an eating disorder. It's not that simple. But media messages that you get, particularly at a younger age when maybe you're not as aware of what that media message is there for and the ways in which, say, an image you're seeing has been manipulated. If you don't have that awareness, seeing the same kind of images all day, every day, can have a real impact on how you feel about yourself. And again, that comes back to stuff like body image and self-esteem and things like that. And you can see a definite link between those kind of issues and a person going on to develop an eating disorder. Okay, so our support services at the moment, the main one that is accessible to young people is we have our own message boards on our website, and it's divided into under 25s and over 25s. The reason being that younger people will have a very different experience of an eating disorder in terms of the services available to them, in terms of the supports around them, be it parents, be it loved ones and things like that. So we saw the need to separate those age groups out. We also have an email support services, which is particularly popular with younger people. I think because of the access to technology and also because of the fact that it's completely confidential. You can say things in an email that maybe you wouldn't say over the phone. We have a helpline number, which again is accessible to young people. But I don't think that's as popular with young people as things like the email are because of the accessibility issues. I suppose if I was to say one thing to people, it would be that recovery is possible. That even if you feel like you're completely alone, if you feel like nobody understands what's going on for you or what you're going through, that the support is there when you look for it. That there is someone at the end of a phone line or at the end of an email address that will appreciate what you're going through, and that, you know, when the time comes to actually get that support, that, you know, there's no simple answer, but that you can come through it and you can get to the point of looking back on the eating disorder and that whole experience and realising that it's in the past. You know, so do talk to someone. No, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's a friend or if it's a teacher or a guidance counsellor or your doctor or your parents. It doesn't matter who it is, but just the sooner you start talking to someone about what's going on for you, the sooner you can get towards recovery.